Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer, NBA champ, 10-time All-Star, and is the host of Showtime's Basketball Weekly digital series called Ticket and the Truth. So that's with Kevin Garnett, regular contributor to Showtime's Basketball What's Burning series. That's Burn In. I threw a G at the end. Alongside Matt Barnes, Stephen Jackson, Rachel Nichols, and Paul also contributing to the network's boxing coverage. Look at you. You're becoming a media star. You got an empire going on here.
What's going on, Dad? Oh, man, I'm trying, man. I'm enjoying retirement, get to talk sports. It's been a lot of fun, man.
I want to go back to when you were drafted. So what was that, 1999? 98?
Yeah,
98.
Yeah.
Okay. Who bothered you the most that they were taken ahead of you? Because I was looking at the list here. What's the one where you go, you got to be kidding me?
Well, there's a couple, because at the time I didn't know who Michael Olowokandi was.
We still don't know.
He was number one. And this is not a knock on him. And I didn't know who Jason Williams was at the time. You know, all the other guys, I knew kind of who they were, because I don't believe Jason Williams. I know he went to Florida. He wasn't really touted as a top player, not by the media. So I was like, once, you know, Olowokandi, then I knew Rafe LaFrance, Mike Bibby, these guys, Jameson and Vince. Then when Jason Williams, I was like, what? Who is that? I didn't know what position he played or nothing. And then it was just like, you know, I didn't know what was going on once it got past him.
And then Tractor Trailer and Dirk Nowitzki.
I didn't know who Dirk Nowitzki was either. And I was like, man, that was three guys I didn't even hear about during the college.
Where did you think you were going?
I thought at worst I would go to Golden State. At worst. That was the fifth pick, I believe, or fourth or fifth pick at worst. You know, but I thought originally I was supposed to go number 2 to Vancouver at the time, which is the Memphis Grizzlies now. And so once it got past top 5, I was like, I was in the daze over there. I was trying to keep a cool head, but I was weary in the green room.
But, you know, I don't know if you keep a chip on your shoulder because of that. How long can you keep a chip on your shoulder?
Until all the coaches and general managers are fired. And most of them were after like my third or fourth year.
I think you might have stayed in college too long.
At the time, I probably did. You know, but like junior year, think about it though, Dan. Junior year was leaving early back then.
Yeah.
Until Kevin Garnett jumped from high school, you know, guys leaving early was junior year. You know, and then, but that year, Stephon Marbury and Shareef Abdul-Rahim left as freshmen, and that kind of like the floodgates opened after that, from high school players and freshmen leaving college and going to the pro.
Who challenged you more in your face, Kobe or KG?
Oh man, KG! I had to see KG every day when he got to Boston. I mean, goodness, that was like every day, and that was my boy.
But when you were playing against, when he was in Minnesota, and Kobe's with the Lakers, and then when you would face those teams?
Most likely Kobe, because I matched up more with him. But I would never forget a game to where we played Minnesota, and I know I was playing against Wally Zerbiak, and I was like having a pretty good game, and then KG switched off on me. Didn't let me touch the ball for a whole 2 or 3 minutes, and I never felt anything like that. He denied me the ball, and then at half court, I mean, it was just like he just all defensive principles went out the window, and he just didn't want me to catch the ball.
If you look at KG, and I'm always curious about this because we want you guys to win championships. So if LeBron leaves Cleveland, he's chasing rings, or Durant leaves Oklahoma City, KG was staying in Minnesota, and he was loyal. And then all of a sudden, you know, Kevin McHale and Danny Ainge make that deal. But you're like damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you chase a ring, we're going to criticize you. And if you don't chase a ring, we're going to criticize you.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, Kevin didn't chase a ring. We did it the more, you know, he got traded.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, I'm a free agent and I'm going to go here. So it looks a little bit different the way we put our pieces together than, you know, LeBron going to Miami or KD going to Golden State, where you put these pieces together. Ours was kind of like we did it the more traditional way, and so it doesn't look as bad. I don't think.
He's Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer, joining us. Who's your vote for MVP?
Man, this is a tough one. Me and KG was talking about this yesterday, and this is what we came to. We're watching Embiid close, but Giannis is playing against the Joker this weekend, I believe. Whoever has the better game and team wins should be MVP.
Wow. How about we put the award at the scorer's table?
Right. If Giannis goes in there and has like 35 and 15 and they win the game in Denver, this is the closest I've ever seen a race, because you can really toss a coin up and say you can give it to Embiid, nobody's going to be mad. You can give it to Joker, no one's going to be mad. You can give it to Giannis and nobody's just going to be mad about it.
I just think there's voter fatigue with Joker. Winning, three times, and then you put him in the category with Bird and Wilt and Bill Russell. It feels like that with the voters, that they're almost realizing, oh my God, he can't win it 3 times in a row. Let's give it to Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, but when you look at it, the number's not going to lie. And when I look at those 3 guys, Dan, he's doing the most with the least. He doesn't have a second all-star because, Embiid has James Harden, who's an all-time great, who should have been all-star. Drew Holiday and Middleton are all-stars in Milwaukee. We can't say that about anybody else in Denver. And he's the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, which nobody had Denver being on top of the West before the season started. So, it's going to be tough to not give it to him, but I understand if there is voter fatigue.
We saw the incident last night with the Mavs and the Warriors, and Mark Cuban's probably going to get fined for his comments. And, it was kind of a crazy call and then a timeout. And next thing you know, Golden State's got an easy 2 at the end of the third quarter. But having played the game, how many times would you go into a game and go, oh, but damn, he's officiating? And you knew that he didn't like you.
Man, a lot. I always would. The first thing, let me tell you this. This is a true story. You can ask Mike Gorman, our sideline reporter. Before every game, I would go to the scores table and I say, who's reffing tonight? And he'll show me the list of the 3 refs, and I'll just be like, oh, damn, this is going to be – and this will tell me if it's going to be a long night or not. And there are certain refs that didn't like – maybe they didn't like Doc. It was somebody that certain refs didn't like, somebody on our team or our coach. Every night I felt like.
But I don't know, how frustrating is that when you're like, I can't get a call, or they're going to call you for a foul and you didn't foul anybody?
Yeah, but see, the reason I asked before the game is so I could be mentally prepared to not get calls or, all right, this is going to be a fair fight tonight. So it really prepared me, just knowing coming to the game that, all right, I know I can't look to expect any calls tonight, so I got to play through that. So it really helped me to know who was ref before the game.
You got any grudges that you still hold against players?
Any grudges against players?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any grudges anymore, man. I know it may seem like I don't like certain players, but no, I don't have any grudges, man. I think these guys they sacrifice so much for the game of basketball and, their families that, I could never hold grudges.
What about 10 years ago? Did you have some grudges?
10 years ago, when I was in the game, well, I just played like I didn't like anybody, But it wasn't a grudge. I just didn't like you that day when we played against each other.
You didn't like LeBron?
I actually respected LeBron more than anybody, but he always brought out the best in me.
Yeah.
And it was easy to not like him because, he put up these historic games all the time on me. So I was just like, geez, I wish I was his age. Maybe I could have kept up with him a little more.
You can see and hear more of Paul, Showtime Basketball's weekly digital series, Ticket and the Truth. And you can bet there's a lot of opinions there with KG and a regular contributor to Showtime Basketball's What's Burning, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Rachel Nichols. I think I might have been at a strip club one night and Steven Jackson was there in Indianapolis. And I made it out alive, Paul.
if Steven Jackson there, you're gonna definitely make it out alive. He got you.
I don't know, but I think I survived that one night. Hey, great to talk to you. Congrats on the career there, or the second career, and thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Always a pleasure.
That's Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer there.